Hello, hello. I thought I would start recording this while I'm sitting here in the parking lot at the grocery store. It has been such a busy day. I had plans to record a video. I'm still hoping I'm going to get home and do it, but the light is fading fast and it's been such a busy day, but such a good one. I went to a local chocolate factory called Mrs. Kavanaugh's that's here in Salt Lake, and picked up some special goodies for myself and for some of my children. Well, all of my children. But then I've been out delivering those to my married kids, and I got to go to lunch with my son. It's just been absolutely delightful, except for the traffic. Why is Valentine's Day the worst traffic in the world? It feels like the day before Christmas. Well, the day before Christmas Eve, like that last shopping day before Christmas, everybody is out and about. I have either witnessed or come upon the scene shortly thereafter, I think, 4 different car accidents. It's not safe out here, you guys. So I just finished at the grocery store. I picked up some sparkling cider. We're not drinkers at our house, so I got some sparkling cider, and what else did I get? What did I get? Oh, some grapes, just because they looked really good. And picked up a little cheese and cracker tray for Richard. That's his idea of like fancy snacks. So we're having an at-home evening. We're gonna watch some TV and just have some treats. Abby's going to a movie with a friend, and my other kids are all out of the house, so we're just gonna have it easy going. But I thought we'll add some little special touches. Plus I got my chocolates, and I got us some chocolate strawberries, so it'll be lovely. So I'm gonna head home. I'm gonna hope that the lighting is still good enough for me to show you my projects and to officially start this podcast. And then I have some really fun, I think it's super fun shop news that I'm excited to share with you. So I'll do that when I get home. Wish me luck that I actually get home safely. I made it. It's a miracle. I've had to turn on some of my artificial light, so it's not perfect, but I really wanted to talk today, record today, and talk to you guys. So, by the way, this is Salt City Knits. I'm Emily, and this is a podcast all about my making life, and I'm excited to share some projects with you. You can find me everywhere as either Salt City Knits or as Yarnbrary, and you can find my yarn and patterns, patterns on Ravelry, or my yarn and patterns on yarnbrary.com. So I'm excited to be here today on this beautiful, kind of gloomy, but also just, it's been a delightful Valentine's Day, despite the traffic issues. So, like I said, I have some fun news, but I want to just share some updates on my projects. I don't have any finished objects right now, but I wanted to share where I am on my cardigan and on my cowl, and then I will tell you about my fun news. So, first off, let's talk about this cardigan. The cardigan is getting closer and closer to being done. Now, this is a pattern that I am designing, and this is my second sample that I am knitting, and I'm knitting this in the smallest size, and I'm going to show you the back because that's where you can see, well, I'm going to show you all of it, but let's start with the back. So here we are. I know there's light on the back, in the background, with that beautiful lace panel down the back, and then it's got this beautiful lace collar that runs also the bands down the front of the cardigan. It's still on the needles, of course. I mean, it's not on the needles here, but on the sleeves, it's not blocked. And then it has this A-line side detailing. And I am working on the first sleeve, and I am a little bit more than halfway done on that first sleeve. I always hate how you can see the difference. I even saved the same skein of yarn I saved part of it so I could work on the sleeve there and transition it, but it doesn't matter because the circumference of your knitting changes from here where I'm working longer rows to here where I'm working these short rounds. And so it just changes the way that the pattern, that the yarn lays, if you will. So it'll still be fine. I am alternating skeins there. Actually, I just ran out of the one skein, so I need to add in another one. But it's just really, really fun. I've got some of my favorite little charms on here. This charm is from So Sweet Violet. She just closed recently after years and years, but I love that one. This one is a me-made charm. And then this one, oh, I love this one. This is from Lock and Lou. Oh, isn't that the cutest little cottage? Just so much fun. So I should finish that sleeve tonight and start the next one. And I can tell you that even though last episode I was complaining about the fact that I feel like I've been knitting this sweater forever, it's really just because it's the second time I've knit this pattern. And so I've had that been there, done that kind of attitude. But these sleeves, I mean, I started this yesterday afternoon. This was just an evening, an afternoon evening of knitting. They're flying. It's flying. It's very, very different than knitting myself a sweater. So, but you know, I'm so used to it that it doesn't really bother me to take the time to knit myself a cardigan in my size. I am used to it because that's the size I usually knit. And so I didn't really know any better. So then to knit these smaller sizes, even though it's an adult size, it just feels like it's whoosh, flying. So that one is coming along. And that is being knit in my Dickens colorway on Biography Sock. It's a little washed out. It's deeper and richer in person than it is showing up on the camera. Very fun. So that's coming along really nicely. I've been working on this while I rewatched all of Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. That's a fun one. Ridiculous, completely ridiculous, and yet so fun. So enjoyed that. I've also been listening to the Mistborn series. You know, I've been reading a lot of fantasy these last few years, and it's not like that's my main genre generally, but I've been reading a ton of fantasy lately. But I got so many book recommendations from you guys. So thank you. I have been making a big long list because I had made a fairly long list last year when we talked about that. And I'd gone through quite a few of them. And then others I had looked at and thought, no, I don't think that's quite for me. But now I've got a whole bunch more to work through. So I'm really very grateful for those. All right, my Simon Cowl, which I still think is a funny, funny name. Again, this is a pattern by, oh, I know it's the two sisters. One of them is Joanna, and it's Twinset and Purl is the name of the company. I'll have it down below. But the Simon Cowl is just an added on extra to the Simon Shawl pattern. So you look for the Simon Shawl, but it's just clever because it's a Simon Cowl. And so here is where I am. I have finished all of my increases and I'm now just working even. And I love the fabric, this houndstooth fabric, the squishy. Oh, it's just so squishy. If you could see the texture there, it's just the most delightful texture and so fun to do. So you just start with this provisional cast on and then it gives you all the instructions. I do have to read the pattern during the increases and decreases, I do have to refer to the pattern every right side row to get the right, the right stitches. Cause it's not, for me, it wasn't an intuitive memorizer, but that's just for the beginning of the row. I'm just enjoying it so much. I took it to knit night and worked on it at knit night a little bit. I love my knit night, but I don't get a ton of knitting done at knit night, which is fine. It's totally fine. I get a lot of knitting done at home. But knit night, we go and we have dinner. We sit and talk while we're eating dinner, kind of, what's the word? Linger over our meal. And then we come in back together, and then we'll do kind of a show and tell. Everybody shows projects that they finished and what they're working on. And sometimes, reports in on any big family news or, other things they want to share. And I just usually am too distracted to focus too much. Again, I'm not complaining at all, because I guess I don't go to knit night strictly to knit. I go to enjoy being with my friends who are also knitters and talking about knitting. So it was really fun because Abby decided to come with me. She has started the campfire cardigan, which is a crochet cardigan that's the crochet granny hexagons. And then you add extra at the bottom and you add a hood. I'll put a picture in right here of the campfire cardigan. She's not home right now, or else I'd have her come show you. But she started that night and has just been working away on it. So yeah, I couldn't talk her into really paying a lot of attention to her gauge. Luckily, she's liking the fabric she's getting, and that's the most important thing. And luckily, this pattern is very adaptable with size. She will kind of be able to eyeball it to a certain extent. She may have to end a few rows early or continue on for a few rounds. I say rows, I should say rounds. But she'll do fine. So it's just really fun to see her carrying on. And she brought her vest that we showed a couple episodes ago, and everybody oohed and awed over it and made her feel like $1 million. And she just was so proud of herself. And it was really cute. She was really fun. But yeah, this is what I was working on. And I think because of the type of fabric it is, it feels like it's taking a little longer to grow. It's a more, I want to say dense, not in a, like the fabric isn't stiff at all. It's very nice and squishy and, got a little drape to it, but it's just not a fast grower. So, but it's fun. I'm enjoying that. Those are the only 2 projects that I am currently working on. Everything else that I'm working on is in the yarn studio or in my pattern writing. But I had to show you what I'm wearing. This is just a long wrap. It's by Purl Soho. It's a free pattern, and my mind has gone blank about the name. Again, I'll put it in the description box below. But I knit this a few years ago with my colorway Opera Dancer's Daughter, which I love. In fact, I think I'm going to add it to the shop. It's been a long time since I've dyed it. It's just a very delicate, light peachy pink with some delicate, subtle speckles in it. It's almost like a ballet. Well, maybe not a ballet pink. It's a little warmer. And this Purl Soho wrap, I used 3 skeins of yarn, and it is a long wrap. So I am a tall person. I'm 5'9", and just to give you an idea, I'm not going to stand up because it'll take a lot of rearranging. But here's how long it is on me, because I don't have it wrapped right now, but it's oodles long to wrap very generously. And the pattern, the way it works, you can really knit it as long as you want. So if you wanted just a 2 skein version, you could do that. But But a friend had, this is back in the day when I used to have a lot of wholesale at a yarn store, local yarn store called Knit and Pretty. And they have sadly closed some time ago, a couple years ago. But they had this as a sample with my yarn. They had one of their employees knit up a sample of this wrap with this yarn. And one time we were doing a yarn show, and so I was wearing the sample and I thought, I love this too much. I just have to make myself one. So it was perfect to go with my pink, cheap, store-bought cardigan for a Valentine's Day. Two different pinks. I would say it's blush and bashful, right? Speaking of pink, I was talking to my oldest daughter the other day about this Instagrammer whose name is right here on the screen because I forgot it. And she was talking about this idea of getting your pink back. And I'm sure she's probably a TikToker, but I'm sure you've been seeing this around. If you're on Instagram or TikTok and watch any reels, then you'll see things about getting your pink back. And that kind of the idea is, especially for moms who have been pouring all of their energies and everything into their children and feeling like they're kind of fading. And then it's finding ways to bring your color back into your life and your spark and your interest and your own, your own joy back into life. And her term is to bring your pink back. And I was thinking about that today. I think I mentioned earlier that today I woke up and I was working on a work project for a little bit. And then I thought, I'm going to go buy myself some chocolates. Richard's been working a lot and he's busy, and we don't have expectations for Valentine's Day. This is not a sad thing. We're both totally fine with it. But I decided I wanted some chocolate. So instead of being like, oh, you never buy me chocolate, I just went and bought myself some. So I got that. I got some chocolate covered strawberries, took them around, delivered them to my kids. And that was a lot of driving. But while I was driving on the way home, even though I was in all this traffic and everything, I just realized I have such a feeling and a sense of well-being right now. Just a happiness, just a joy in life. Not a manic bursting out of, bursting at the seams kind of joy or happiness. Just a nice, contented, happy feeling of well-being. And while I am typically a fairly bubbly and chatty person, an animated person, I have really struggled for several years with my health, my mental health, and just a feeling of overwhelm. And I've realized it's been a little bit now that I have felt just good. What an amazing thing to realize, because I think sometimes you don't realize how difficult it's been until you come into the good parts and you realize you just feel good. And I know some of that is Richard getting a new job. Some of that is getting Isaac settled where he is, so we're not in that transition anymore. Some of it has just been time and healing from my health. I was also had pneumonia and all this stuff in the end of the year, and now I feel fine and I feel, all better, and life is good there. Some of it is that I have been exercising. Now my exercises, don't get that excited. I call them my granny exercises. I'm doing strengthening, like very, very basic leg and core and arms and back, that kind of strengthening exercises. And they are very, very simple and gentle, but I've been doing them and it's really been good. And I think some of it is just healing. I don't know. It's great. It's really, really great. It is getting really dark, so I better keep talking fast. This is going to be a short episode today. I do have to say, I've been doing a lot of my own devotional studies, my own scriptural studies, and that has, I know, also helped. I'm really good at that at times and not as good at other times. So, just like everybody, that we all have our things that we're improving on, and sometimes we're not doing so good, we just keep trying. So, okay, shop news. First off, let me talk to you about a pattern. So I have my strawberry beige shawl. This is a pink themed episode, as you can tell, brought to you by the color pink. So my strawberry beige shawl pattern, I am putting out a testing call for this pattern, and the link to sign up to apply to be a tester is in the description box below. So please make sure, if you are interested, to go to that link. This pattern is going to be releasing in either the end of April or in May. The goal will be to knit the shawl in the month of March. So I'll have the pattern to you by the beginning of March, and the goal is to knit it in the month of March. This pattern is written and designed for one 100-gram skein of boucle fingering weight yarn and one 50-gram skein of lace weight silk mohair. You can make some substitutions, but you need to have a fingering weight and a lace weight, either mohair or Surrey alpaca, something fluffy for the lace. And you could do this in a simple fingering weight, but I think the boucle makes all the difference in the world. So if you are interested in testing this pattern, you will need to be thinking about the yarns that you would use. I know Deborah at Candy Shop Yarns, who is the one who dyed these yarns, is going to have a whole bunch of these different sets in her shop. So that would be an option. But you can also look in your stash and see what you've got. But it takes 100 grams of fingering weight and 50 grams of lace weight mohair or Surrey alpaca. And this is suited to primarily solid colors. So if you are interested in that, please go fill out that form and be thinking about what yarns you would use. And yeah, I really appreciate anybody who would be interested in being a test knitter. And then this pattern will come out in April. I don't know the exact date, but it's coming soon. It is lighter than air, and I think one of my prettiest designs. I think it's just feminine and lacy and drapey, but also squishy, and just, oh, I love it so much. My daughter is very, very eager to have that back. So that was shop news number 1. Shop news number 2, I'm really excited about. Coming up in April, we have Easter on April 20th, and I have decided that I am doing an Easter countdown box. So it is going to definitely be a faith-based box. It will be called Holy Week, a yarn devotional, and there will be 7 mini skeins included in that, 20-gram mini skeins in my Biography Sock base, as well as devotional cards for every day of Holy Week and some extra fun extras that I'm excited to surprise you with. There will also be a sock pattern that uses those 7 mini skeins to knit a pair of socks. And the idea behind this, I love studying the armor of God. And one of the pieces of the armor of God is feet shod in the preparation of the gospel of peace. And so my thoughts are that you can do this devotional and be pondering and thinking about the things that you read. They're just short devotionals, very bite-sized, not anything overwhelming. And then knitting on a pair of socks And you could, I don't know how, depending on how fast you are, you could choose to knit just one sock during the week and then knit the second sock after, or you could choose to knit concurrently and get a whole pair of socks through that week. But at the end of the week, your feet will be shod, with your socks in the preparation of the gospel of peace. Oh, I just love it. So this is me combining some of my loves of faith, my Christian faith, and my love for knitting and designing and color and spring and all these things wrapped together. I'm excited about it. I know it's not for everybody. And so, but for those of you who are Christian and are interested in something like this, or just interested in it to find out what it's all about, either way, that is going to be, those are in the shop right now. And they will be shipping out, I think, by April 5th. And they're only going to be shipping to the continental US. So just because this is kind of a last minute thing and I don't have time to ship them internationally. I don't have time to prep them and get them ready and get them out the door in time. So I hope to be able to offer them in the future. But for now, it will be continental US only. And they will ship out April 5th so that you will have, before April 5th, so that you will have them in hand in order to start on April 13th, 12th, 13th. I can do math, right? I don't know what I'm talking about. I think it's the 13th. Whatever Palm Sunday is, I think it's the 13th. So yeah, that's the plan. So yeah, that's all my shop news. I am gonna go and start making dinner and getting ready for a relaxing, very relaxing at home Valentine's evening with my cute husband and our delicious chocolates that I bought us. So I'll talk to you very soon. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.